Captain Hyun-woo Kim stared at the display screen in front of him. The numbers made no sense. His patrol ship, the Incheon's Pride, had been doing a routine check near the edge of the solar system when the sensors picked up something big. Very big. "Lieutenant Park, are you seeing this?" Hyun-woo called to his communications officer. So-min Park looked up from her station. Her face was pale. "Yes, sir. These energy readings are off the charts. Whatever is out there, it's massive." Hyun-woo had been with the Earth Defense Force for 12 years. He had seen asteroids, comets, and space junk. But this was different. The energy signature was moving in patterns that no natural object could make. "Run a deep scan," he ordered. "I want to know what we're dealing with." The ship's computer worked for several minutes. When the results came back, Hyun-woo felt his stomach drop. The object was not one ship. It was a fleet. A huge fleet of ships unlike anything in Earth's databases. "Sir," So-min said quietly, "I'm picking up transmissions." "Put them through the translator." The speakers crackled to life. Strange voices spoke in languages that sounded nothing like any Earth language. The computer worked to translate the words, but most of it came through as gibberish. Only a few phrases made sense: primitive species, resource acquisition, and minimal resistance expected. Hyun-woo felt cold sweat on his forehead. "So-min, get me a direct line to Earth Defense Command. Priority 1. "Yes, sir." So-min's fingers flew over her controls. Connection established. The face of Commander Ji-ho Lee appeared on the main screen. Lee was a tough man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had fought in the border wars and earned respect throughout the military. "Captain Kim, what's your status?" Lee asked. "Commander, we have a situation. Unknown fleet detected at Grid 77 Alpha. Energy signatures suggest advanced technology. We're intercepting communications that mention primitive species and resource acquisition." Lee's face went dark. "How many ships?" "Computer estimates at least 50 large vessels, sir. Possibly more hiding behind the first wave." "Understood. Return to base immediately. Do not engage. Repeat, do not engage." "Yes, sir." Hyun-woo cut the connection and turned to his pilot. "Taejin, take us home. Full speed." The Incheon's Pride turned and headed back toward Earth. Behind them, the alien fleet continued its slow approach toward the inner solar system. At Earth Defense Command, Commander Lee immediately called an emergency meeting. Within an hour, the top military leaders were gathered in the secure briefing room. President Yoon-ji Yang arrived with her security detail. "Report," Yang said as she took her seat. Lee activated the holographic display. The image showed the solar system with red dots marking the alien fleet's position. "Unknown fleet detected 6 hours ago. Intelligence analysis suggests hostile intent." Chief Intelligence Officer Dong-min Choi stepped forward. He was a thin man with sharp eyes who rarely spoke unless he had something important to say. "Madam, President, we've been monitoring galactic communications for 30 years. Based on the transmission patterns and language structure, this appears to be the galactic hegemony." Yang leaned forward. "Explain." "The hegemony is a coalition of 12 alien species. They control most of the known galaxy. Their standard procedure is to identify useful worlds and relocate the native populations to reservation planets." "Relocate?" Yang's voice was sharp. "They don't usually destroy primitive species. They move them out of the way and take their worlds for military or industrial use." General Su Jin, head of military planning, spoke up. "Our intelligence suggests they view us as a primitive species. Single star system, no apparent faster-than-light travel, basic technology. They think we're helpless," Yang said. "Yes, ma'am." Yang stood and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the lights of the city. Millions of people going about their daily lives, unaware that their world was being threatened. "What are our options?" she asked. Admiral In-ho Ryu cleared his throat. "Officially, we have limited defensive capabilities. Our public records show only chemical rockets and basic orbital platforms." "Officially," Yang repeated. "What about unofficially?" Dong-min stepped forward again. "Madam President, we've been preparing for this day for 3 decades. Project Deep Watch has been monitoring alien civilizations and developing countermeasures. Show me." Dong-min activated a different display. This one showed detailed schematics of ships, weapons, and defensive systems that were far more advanced than anything Earth publicly acknowledged. We've reverse-engineered alien technology from crashed ships and deep space debris. Our science teams have improved on their designs. We have faster-than-light communication, energy shields, and weapons that can match anything the hegemony has. Yang studied the display. How many people know about this? Less than 10,000 worldwide, all with the highest security clearances. And our defensive capabilities? Extensive. We have hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt, disguised installations on Luna and Mars, and a fleet of ships that appear to be simple mining vessels. Yang nodded slowly. The aliens think they're dealing with primitives. Yes, ma'am. They have no idea what they're walking into. Over the next few hours, the alien fleet continued its approach. Captain Hyun Woo and the crew of the Incheon's Pride monitored their progress from Earth Defense Command. They're not trying to hide, So Min reported. Broadcasting on multiple frequencies, conducting active scans of our outer planets. Arrogant, Commander Lee muttered. The alien transmissions became clearer as the fleet moved closer. The computer was able to translate more of their communications. Survey team reports primitive mining operations on asteroid belt objects. No defensive installations detected. Population concentrated on third planet with small colony on natural satellite. Another voice responded. Confirmed, minimal technological development. This should be a simple relocation operation. Hyun Woo looked at Commander Lee. They really think we're helpless. Let them think that, Lee replied. As the hours passed, more intelligence came in. The alien fleet was massive. 12 different ship designs representing 12 different species. The lead ship was enormous, probably carrying thousands of crew members. Dr. Ha-Nul Kang, head of the Xenobiology Division, studied the ship designs from her secure laboratory deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. The lead ship belongs to the Dominion species, she reported to the command staff. Our files indicate they're the military leaders of the hegemony. Highly aggressive, but overconfident when dealing with species they consider inferior. What's their typical approach? Yang asked. Overwhelming force demonstration followed by surrender demands. If the target species resists, they increase pressure until compliance is achieved. And if there's still resistance? Complete destruction of military assets, followed by forced relocation of the population. Yang looked around the room at her military leaders. Recommendations? Admiral Ryu spoke first. We let them make the first move. See what they do when they think they're dealing with primitives. Agreed, said General O. We maintain the illusion of weakness until we understand their full capabilities. Commander Lee nodded. Our deep space monitoring stations are tracking additional ships. This may not be their full force. Yang made her decision. We wait. Let them reveal their intentions, but prepare for immediate response. The meeting ended, and the various commanders returned to their posts. Earth's hidden defenses began to quietly activate. On Luna, Director Young A. Kim received orders to prepare the disguised fortress for potential combat. In the asteroid belt, mining ships that were actually warships began moving to strategic positions. Captain Hyun-woo returned to his ship and rejoined the patrol fleet. They would maintain normal operations while the aliens approached, giving no sign that Earth was anything more than what it appeared to be. As night fell over Earth, the alien fleet continued its approach. Admiral Vexitar of the Dominion species stood on the bridge of his flagship, studying the tactical display. The primitive system showed no signs of advanced defense networks. This would be simple. Prepare the surrender broadcast, he ordered his communications officer. Standard relocation protocols. These humans should be grateful we're allowing them to live. The galaxy had made its decision. Earth would be claimed, and humanity would be moved out of the way. It seemed like such a simple plan. They had no idea how wrong they were. The alien scout ships moved through the asteroid belt like sharks through water. Their sensors swept across the scattered rocks and debris, cataloging everything they found. To their eyes, the human operations looked exactly as expected from a primitive species. Chief Engineer Tae-hyun Seo watched the alien ships from his control center, buried deep inside what appeared to be a simple mining asteroid. The facility looked like basic human technology from the outside. Rough metal structures, simple communications arrays, and industrial equipment that seemed barely functional. They're buying it, reported his deputy, Engineer Won Jin Nam. Passive. Scans only. They think we're just digging rocks for metals. Taehyun smiled grimly. The aliens had no idea they were looking at one of the most advanced military installations in human space. The mining lasers were actually planet-killer weapons. The ore processing centers housed shield generators and missile launchers. The entire asteroid belt had been turned into a fortress, and the enemy couldn't see it. "Keep all systems on standby," Taehyun ordered. "No active scans, no energy spikes. Let them think we're as primitive as we look." On Earth, Dr. Han-Yul Kang worked in her underground laboratory, studying the live feeds from the alien ships. Her team had been preparing for this moment for decades. Every piece of alien technology they had found over the years had been carefully studied, reverse-engineered, and improved. "The ship designs match our predictions," she told her assistant, Dr. Min-Soo Yoon. "We know their shield frequencies, their weapon types, and their communication protocols." Min-Soo nodded as he reviewed the data. "Our countermeasures should be effective. The plasma rifles will cut through their hull armor, and our new shields can deflect their energy weapons. What about their boarding parties? Human reflexes are faster, and our enhanced combat suits give us a significant advantage in hand-to-hand fighting. Plus, we've developed specific bioweapons for each of their species." Han-Yul looked at the display showing the alien fleet. 30 years of preparation. Let's hope it's enough. At the edge of the solar system, more alien ships continued to arrive. Captain Hyunwoo counted at least 200 vessels now, representing all 12 species of the hegemony. The fleet was impressive, but Earth's hidden sensors had mapped every ship. "They're taking their time," Somin observed. "Scanning everything, building a complete picture of our defenses." "What defenses?" Hyunwoo said with a slight smile. "As far as they know, we have a few orbital platforms and some chemical rockets. The aliens were being thorough. They had detected Earth's space stations, the lunar colony, and the Mars research base. All of these installations appeared to be exactly what they claimed to be: scientific and industrial facilities with minimal defensive capabilities. What the aliens couldn't see were the hidden weapons, the disguised warships, and the massive underground installations that housed Earth's real military power. On Luna, Director Young-E Kim walked through the corridors of what appeared to be a simple research station. The facility looked like it housed maybe a few hundred scientists and support staff. The aliens' scans would show basic life support systems, some scientific equipment, and a small communications array. They wouldn't detect the fusion reactors, buried deep underground, or the massive weapon systems hidden beneath false walls. They couldn't see the 1,000 soldiers waiting in hidden barracks, or the fighter ships concealed in chambers that looked like storage areas. "Director," called Captain Woo Jin Baek, the facility's diplomatic officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet." Young-A followed him to the communications center. The main screen showed the image of an alien creature unlike anything in Earth's public databases. It had 4 arms, scaled skin, and large eyes that seemed to glow with their own light. "Primitive humans of the 3rd planet," the alien said through the computer's translation system. "I am Admiral Vextar of the Galactic Hegemony. Your system has been selected for acquisition by the Hegemony Council." Young-A and Woo Jin exchanged glances. The alien's tone was condescending, like an adult explaining something simple to a child. "Your species will be relocated to suitable worlds where you can continue your development under hegemony guidance. You have 72 hours to prepare your population for transport. Resistance is pointless and will only result in unnecessary casualties." The transmission ended. Woo Jin shook his head. "They really think we're that primitive." "Perfect," Young-A replied. "Send a response." A few minutes later, Earth's reply was broadcast to the alien fleet. The message came from President Yang herself, speaking from what appeared to be a simple government building. "Admiral Vextar, Earth rejects your demands. This is our home, and we will not be relocated. You have 72 hours to leave our system." The response from the alien fleet was immediate. Laughter. Actual laughter from multiple species, translated into human languages. "Amusing," Admiral Vextar replied. "Very well. We will demonstrate the futility of resistance." The alien fleet began to move. 3 large ships separated from the main group and headed directly for Luna, their weapon systems powered up and their shields activated. "They're going to attack the lunar colony," reported Captain Hyunwoo from his observation post. "Let them. Come!" Commander Lee replied from Earth Defense Command. On Luna, Director Young-A watched the approaching ships. All personnel to battle stations. Activate defensive systems. It's time to show them what they're really dealing with. The lunar base began to transform. What had looked like a small research station suddenly revealed its true nature. Weapon? Turrets rose from hidden positions. Shield generators came online, creating a protective barrier around the facility. Launch bays opened, and fighter ships emerged ready for combat. But the aliens were already committed to their attack. They had expected to find a helpless colony with maybe a few security guards. Instead, they found themselves facing a military fortress that rivaled anything in hegemony space. The lead alien ship fired its main weapons. Massive energy beams struck the lunar base's shields and were deflected harmlessly into space. The aliens' weapons, which could destroy most planetary defenses, barely made the human shields flicker. "Return fire," Young-A ordered. The lunar base's weapons came to life. But these weren't the primitive missiles or lasers the aliens expected. These were weapons designed specifically to counter hegemony technology, built from 30 years of studying their equipment. The first shot punched through the lead alien ship's shields like they weren't there. The second shot tore a massive hole in the ship's hull. The third shot caused a cascade failure in the ship's power systems. Within minutes, the lead alien ship was drifting helplessly in space, its crew evacuating in escape pods. The other two alien ships tried to retreat, but the lunar base's long-range weapons reached out and crippled them before they could escape. Two more ships disabled, their crews wondering what had just happened. Admiral Vextar stared at his tactical display in shock. His scouts had reported a small research facility with minimal defenses. Instead, his attack force had encountered a fortress with weapons technology that exceeded hegemony standards. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his intelligence officer. "Unknown, Admiral. Our scans showed only primitive technology." "Scan again. Deep penetration. Full spectrum analysis." The new scans revealed nothing. The human installation still appeared primitive to hegemony sensors. But something was clearly very wrong with their intelligence. On Earth, the hidden command centers buzzed with activity. The first engagement had been a complete success, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. "They know we're not helpless now," General O observed. "But they don't know how powerful we really are," Admiral Ryu replied. "They think the lunar base was a hidden military facility. They have no idea that our entire system is armed." Dr. Hanul received reports from her monitoring stations throughout the solar system. "The aliens are regrouping. They're calling for reinforcements." "How many?" President Yang asked. "At least 3 more fleets. This is about to become a much larger conflict." Yang nodded. "Then it's time to show them what Earth is really capable of." Throughout the solar system, Earth's hidden defenses began to reveal themselves. Mining ships in the asteroid belt transformed into warships. Research stations became military bases. Communication satellites deployed weapons systems. The aliens had thought they were dealing with a primitive species on a single world. They were about to discover that they had invaded the home system of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Captain Hyunwoo received new orders from Earth Defense Command. His patrol ship, like all Earth vessels, was about to stop pretending to be a simple exploration craft. "All ships, this is command. Execute Protocol 7. Full reveal. Show them what we really are." Around the solar system, dozens of ships that had appeared to be civilian craft suddenly revealed their true nature. Advanced weapons systems came online. Military-grade shields activated. Faster-than-light communication arrays connected every human facility in an instant. The Galactic hegemony had expected to claim an easy prize. Instead, they had walked into the most sophisticated trap in galactic history, and Earth was just getting started. Admiral Vextar stood frozen on his command bridge, staring at the tactical display that made no sense. 3 of his best ships had been destroyed or disabled by what his intelligence claimed was a primitive research station. The weapons that had torn through his vessels were unlike anything in hegemony databases. "Analysis report," he demanded from his science officer. "Admiral, the energy signatures don't match any known technology. The humans appear to have developed weapons specifically designed to counter our defensive systems. That's impossible. Our scouts confirmed they have no faster-than-light capability, no energy shields, and only basic chemical propulsion. The evidence suggests our intelligence was incorrect, Admiral." Vextar turned to his communications officer. Contact the other fleet commanders. I want a full tactical assessment of this system. But when his communications officer tried to send the message, nothing happened. The quantum communication network that connected all hegemony ships was being jammed by some kind of interference. Sir, our communications are being blocked, the officer reported. I can't reach the other ships. How is that possible? Captain Boram Kim smiled as she watched the alien fleet struggle with their communications breakdown. From her position, aboard the stealth ship Hidden Strike, her electronic warfare team was systematically jamming every frequency the hegemony used. Their communication protocols haven't changed in 50 years, she told her operations officer. We've had plenty of time to develop countermeasures. The jamming wasn't random. Dr. Seok Jin Lim's quantum communication network allowed instant coordination between all human forces while preventing the aliens from talking to each other. Every human ship, base, and facility was connected, while the alien fleet was isolated and confused. Throughout the asteroid belt, Chief Engineer Tae Hyun's disguised installations began their transformation. What had appeared to be simple mining equipment suddenly revealed itself as military hardware that exceeded anything the galaxy had seen. Mining Laser 7 was actually a focused particle beam weapon capable of cutting through a battleship's hull in seconds. Ore Processing Station 12 housed enough missiles to destroy a small fleet. Communication Relay 15 was a sensor array that could track ships across multiple star systems. All stations report ready, Tae Hyun announced to his command staff. The enemy has no idea what they're looking at. Captain Kyung-Soo Nam received the activation signal aboard his ship, the Soul's Revenge. Like the other ships in the asteroid belt, his vessel had been disguised as a simple ore hauler for years. Now it was time to show its true nature. The Soul's Revenge underwent a dramatic transformation. Hidden weapon ports opened along its hull. Advanced shield generators came online. The ship's true size became apparent as camouflage sections extended outward, revealing a vessel 3 times larger than it had appeared. All around the asteroid belt, similar transformations were taking place. Dozens of ships that had seemed like civilian craft suddenly revealed themselves as advanced warships. The hegemony scouts had cataloged simple mining vessels. Instead, they were facing a fleet that could challenge their entire invasion force. Admiral Vextar watched in growing horror as his tactical display updated with new contacts. Where his sensors had shown a few dozen primitive ships, there were now hundreds of advanced vessels. Energy readings that had seemed like industrial equipment were actually weapon systems with power levels that exceeded hegemony standards. This is not possible, he whispered. General Soo-Jin Oh observed the alien confusion from her command center on Earth. For 30 years, her strategic planning team had prepared for this moment. Every detail of the hegemony's military doctrine had been studied and countered. They're trying to regroup, reported her intelligence officer. But without communications, their formation is breaking apart. Execute Phase 2, Soo-Jin ordered. Throughout the solar system, Earth's hidden assets began to move. Ships that had been positioned behind asteroids and planets emerged into open space. Weapon platforms that had been disguised as scientific equipment activated their targeting systems. The trap was closing. Captain Woo Jin Baek prepared to send Earth's response to the alien ultimatum. But this message would come from a very different source than the aliens expected. Instead of a transmission from Earth's government buildings, the message came from Admiral In-ho Ryu aboard the battleship New Horizon. The ship had been hidden behind Luna. But now it moved into open space where the aliens could see it clearly. The New Horizon was a ship that should not have existed. Its design incorporated the best technology from 12 different alien species, improved and enhanced by human engineering. It was larger than the alien flagship and radiated power that made even hegemony vessels seem primitive. Admiral Vextar, Ryu said calmly, you demanded our surrender. We decline. You have one opportunity to withdraw from our system peacefully. This offer will not be repeated. The alien admiral stared at the image of the human ship. His sensors confirmed what his eyes could hardly believe. The vessel was more advanced than anything the hegemony possessed. Impossible, he said aloud. Our intelligence reports showed no such capability. Your intelligence was incomplete, Ryu replied. We've been watching your species for decades. We know your ship designs, your weapons, your tactics. You know nothing about us. Admiral Vextar made a decision that would prove to be a fatal mistake. Pride and arrogance overwhelmed tactical sense. All ships, attack formation, destroy the human vessels. But the hegemony fleet discovered that their formation was broken. Without communications, the ships couldn't coordinate their movements. Worse, they found themselves surrounded by human vessels that had appeared from seemingly empty space. The battle began badly for the aliens and got worse quickly. Captain Kyung-Soo's ships struck first. The Soul's Revenge and its companion vessels unleashed a barrage of weapons that the hegemony had never encountered. Plasma beams designed specifically to penetrate their hull armor, missiles that could adjust their targeting mid-flight to compensate for defensive maneuvers, energy torpedoes that created cascade failures in alien power systems. The aliens tried to return fire, but their weapons seemed almost primitive compared to human technology. Energy beams that should have destroyed human. Ships were deflected by shields that bent the laws of physics. Missiles that had never missed their targets were intercepted by point defense systems that fired faster than alien sensors could track. Director Young-A watched from Luna as the first phase of the battle unfolded. The lunar fortress had revealed only a fraction of its true capabilities during the initial skirmish. Now it was time to show the aliens what Earth's primitive technology could really do. The lunar base unleashed hell. Weapons that had been developed specifically to counter hegemony technology tore through alien ships like paper. The fortress had enough firepower to level a continent, and all of it was focused on the invading fleet. 3 alien ships tried to concentrate their fire on the lunar base, hoping to overwhelm its defenses. Instead, they discovered that the base's shields were powered by fusion reactors that could generate more energy than a small star. Their combined attack barely made the protective barrier flicker. The return fire from Luna destroyed all 3 ships in seconds. Admiral Vextar realized that his fleet was being systematically destroyed by an enemy that had prepared for this battle far better than he had imagined. But retreat was impossible. The human ships had positioned themselves to block every escape route. "Signal general retreat," he ordered desperately. "Sir, our communications are still jammed." "Then break radio silence. Send the retreat order on all frequencies." But Captain Boram's electronic warfare team was ready for this too. The moment the aliens tried to communicate, their signals were intercepted, decoded, and jammed before they could reach their intended targets. Dr. Ha Nul monitored the battle from her laboratory, watching as her years of research paid off. Every weapon system performed exactly as designed. The aliens' biological advantages were meaningless against human technology that had been specifically engineered to counter them. "Boarding parties are engaging the alien survivors," she reported to President Yang. "Our combat suits are performing well. Human reflexes and adaptability are giving us a significant advantage." The few alien ships that remained functional found themselves boarded by human marines wearing armor that made them nearly unstoppable. The suits enhanced human strength and speed while providing protection against alien weapons. Worse for the aliens, the humans fought with a ferocity and adaptability that the galaxy had never seen. Hegemony soldiers were used to fighting species that followed predictable patterns. Humans changed their tactics constantly, adapting to new situations faster than alien commanders could respond. Within hours, the once mighty hegemony fleet was reduced to scattered wreckage and captured ships. Admiral Vextar found himself a prisoner aboard the New Horizon, staring at Admiral Ryu across a conference table. "How?" Vextar asked. "Our intelligence showed you had no advanced technology." "Your intelligence saw what we wanted you to see," Ryu replied. "For 30 years, we've been preparing for this day. We studied your species, learned your weaknesses, and built weapons specifically designed to defeat you." 3 days after the destruction of Admiral Vextar's fleet, the real hegemony response arrived. Captain Hyun-woo watched from his command post as massive energy signatures appeared at the edge of the solar system. This time, the aliens weren't taking any chances. 3 full battle fleets, reported Lieutenant So-Min Park. Over 600 ships total. Every major hegemony species is represented. Commander Lee studied the tactical display. "They're not underestimating us this time." The alien armada was impressive. Ships from all 12 hegemony species moved in perfect formation, their weapons charged and shields at maximum power. This force could conquer most star systems in a matter of hours. But Earth was ready. Admiral Inho Ryu stood on the bridge of the New Horizon, now flagship of humanity's revealed fleet. Around him, displays showed the positions of every human asset in the solar system. What had once appeared to be a single world with minimal defenses was now clearly visible as the most fortified star system in the galaxy. "Status report," Ryu ordered. "All defensive platforms online," reported Captain Jaewon Park from Luna. "Asteroid belt installations ready. Deep space monitors tracking enemy movements." "Fleet status?" Captain Kyung Sunam's voice came through the communication system. "Battlegroup Alpha ready. 200 ships in position throughout the asteroid belt." "Battlegroup Beta standing by," added Captain Won-seok Jang. 150 ships hidden behind Mars and Jupiter. "Gamma Group ready," reported Captain Hee-jin Song. 100 ships in Earth orbit, disguised as orbital platforms. Admiral Ryu nodded. The aliens thought they were facing the same fleet that had destroyed Vextar's forces. They had no idea that Earth's military was 10 times larger than what they had seen. The hegemony fleet advanced slowly, scanning everything in their path. This time, they were taking no chances with surprises. Supreme Commander Zalthek of the hegemony forces studied the intelligence reports from the first battle. The humans had somehow hidden their true capabilities from even the most advanced sensors. His science teams had no explanation for how this was possible. "Deploy scanner probes," he ordered. "Deep penetration scans of every object in this system. I want to know about every weapon, every ship, every defensive installation." The probes spread out across the solar system, their sensors operating at maximum power. What they found confused the alien commanders even more. The human installations still appeared primitive to their sensors. The ships still looked like simple civilian craft. The weapons platforms still seemed like basic defensive systems. But the energy readings told a different story. "The power levels don't match the technology we're detecting," reported the chief science officer. "These readings suggest weapons that could destroy our dreadnoughts, but our scans show only primitive equipment. Sensor ghosts," Zalthek decided. "Some kind of jamming or deception technology. Ignore the false readings and attack based on visual confirmation." It was a fatal mistake. Dr. Hanul monitored the alien scans from her laboratory. "They're trying to penetrate our stealth systems," she told her team, "but their sensors can't adapt to our technology." For 30 years, human scientists had studied alien detection methods. Every scanner, every sensor, every detection system the hegemony used had been analyzed and countered. Earth's installations didn't just look primitive to alien sensors. They were designed to be invisible to them. "They're committed to the attack," reported Dr. Min Soo-yoon. "All ships moving into the inner system." "Perfect," Hanul replied. "They're walking into the kill zone." The hegemony fleet entered the asteroid belt, expecting to face the same human forces that had defeated Vextar. Instead, they found themselves in the middle of the most sophisticated trap in galactic history. Chief Engineer Tai Hyun watched the alien fleet approach his hidden installations. "All stations, hold fire until they're fully committed. Let them get deep into the belt before we spring the trap." The aliens moved carefully through the asteroids, their sensors searching for hidden weapons. They found what appeared to be the same mining equipment and simple defensive platforms they had detected before. They never saw the real weapons until it was too late. "Now," Tae-hyun ordered. The asteroid belt erupted in fire. What the aliens thought were mining lasers revealed themselves as weapons that could cut through the hull of a dreadnought. Processing stations became missile launchers that fired projectiles, designed specifically to penetrate hegemony armor. Communication arrays transformed into sensor jammers that blinded entire sections of the alien fleet. But this was only the beginning. Captain Kyung-soo's battle group Alpha emerged from hiding, but not from the positions the aliens expected. The human ships had been concealed inside hollowed-out asteroids, invisible to every scanner the hegemony possessed. The Soul's Revenge led the charge, its weapons tearing through alien shields like they were made of paper. Around it, dozens of other ships that had seemed like civilian craft revealed their true nature as advanced warships. The aliens tried to respond, but found themselves fighting on multiple fronts simultaneously. Captain Won-seok's battle group, Beta, attacked from behind Mars, cutting off their retreat. Captain Hyojin's Gamma group dropped their disguise and attacked from the inner system, trapping the alien fleet between 3 human forces. Supreme Commander Zalthek stared at his tactical display in growing horror. Where his intelligence had shown a few dozen primitive ships, he was now facing over 400 advanced warships. The humans hadn't just hidden their capabilities, they had created the largest trap in military history. "All ships, break formation and scatter," he ordered. "Try to escape the kill zone." But escape was impossible. The humans had planned this battle for decades, and every possible escape route had been blocked. Admiral Ryu watched the battle unfold from the New Horizon. Begin Phase 2. Release the Hunters. Throughout the solar system, humanity's most advanced ships began to move. These weren't the disguised civilian craft or hidden weapon platforms. These were ships built specifically for war, incorporating technology from every major galactic civilization and improved by human engineering. The Hunters were ships that could match the speed of the fastest alien vessels while carrying weapons, that could destroy the largest hegemony dreadnoughts. They moved through the battle like wolves among sheep, striking at will and disappearing before the aliens could respond. Captain Hai Jin led a boarding operation against one of the largest alien ships. Her Marines wore combat suits that made them nearly unstoppable, enhanced with technology that gave them advantages the aliens couldn't counter. "Resistance is minimal," she reported to Admiral Ryu. "Their soldiers can't adapt to our tactics. Marines fought differently than any species the hegemony had encountered. They changed strategies constantly, adapted to new situations in real time, and coordinated their actions with a precision that alien commanders found impossible to predict. Worse for the aliens, Dr. Guangsu Yu's bioweapon research was proving devastatingly effective. Viruses designed specifically for each alien species spread through their ships, targeting their unique biology while leaving humans completely unaffected. The hegemony's greatest strength, their diversity, had become their greatest weakness against human adaptability. "Sir," reported Captain Boram from her electronic warfare station, "alien communications are completely jammed. They can't coordinate their forces. Sensor networks? Disrupted. They're fighting blind." Supreme Commander Zalthek found himself commanding a fleet that was being systematically destroyed by an enemy that seemed to know exactly how to counter every advantage the hegemony possessed. His weapons were useless against human shields. His shields couldn't stop human weapons. His communications were jammed, his sensors were blind, and his ships were being boarded by soldiers who fought like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. "How is this possible?" he demanded of his science. "Officer." "Unknown, sir. Their technology appears to be specifically designed to counter our capabilities. That would require decades of research and preparation." "Yes, sir." The truth was finally becoming clear to the alien commander. The humans hadn't suddenly developed advanced technology. They had been preparing for this war for generations, studying alien weaknesses and building weapons designed to exploit them. Within hours, the mighty hegemony fleet was reduced to scattered wreckage and captured ships. 3 full battle fleets, over 600 ships, had been destroyed or disabled by a human force that had seemed primitive just days before. Supreme Commander Zalthek found himself a prisoner aboard Admiral Ryu's flagship, staring at technology that exceeded anything in hegemony space. "Your species made a critical error," Ryu explained. "You assumed that because we appeared primitive, we actually were primitive. You never considered that we might be hiding our true capabilities. But why hide? Why not reveal your technology and join the galactic community? Because we were studying you, learning your weaknesses, preparing for the day when someone would threaten our world." Zalthek looked around the human ship. Every system was more advanced than anything the hegemony possessed. "What do you want?" "Simple," Ryu replied. "We want the galaxy to understand that Earth's frontiers are inviolate. Any species that threatens human space will face the same fate as your fleets." The news of the hegemony's defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within days, every major civilization knew that humanity had destroyed 3 full battle fleets with minimal losses. The species that everyone had ignored was suddenly the most feared force in known space. Captain Wan-Xiok Jang stood on the bridge of his ship, the Freedom's Edge, as it approached the hegemony's capital system. Around him, a fleet of 50 human vessels moved with the precision of apex predators. "They weren't here to conquer," They were here to deliver a message. Incoming transmission from the Planetary Defense Network, reported his communications officer. Put it through. An alien face appeared on the screen. One of the Dominion species that had led the attack on Earth. The creature's 4 eyes showed fear that was impossible to hide. Unknown human vessels, you are entering restricted space. State your intentions. Wanseok smiled coldly. We're here to discuss terms. On Earth, President Yoonji Yang stood before the assembled leaders of the United Earth Council. The past weeks had changed everything. Humanity could no longer hide its true nature from the galaxy. The secret is out, she told the council. Every civilization in the galaxy now knows that Earth possesses advanced military technology. We can never return to the shadows. Defense Minister Su Jin, nodded. Our intelligence networks report that several species are already attempting to form alliances against us. They fear our capabilities. As they should, Yang replied. But fear alone won't guarantee our security. We need to establish our position in the galactic order. Admiral Inho Ryu joined the meeting via secure transmission from his flagship. Madam President, our expeditionary fleets are in position throughout hegemony space. We're ready to begin negotiations. The negotiations were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. For centuries, the hegemony had dictated terms to conquered species. Now they found themselves facing demands from a species they had tried to relocate, just weeks before. Ambassador Sang-Ho Kim sat across from the Hegemony Council in their grand chamber on the capital world. The 12 species that ruled most of the galaxy looked uncomfortable as they faced this single human representative. Your terms are unacceptable, declared the Hegemony Prime Speaker. No single species can claim such extensive territorial rights. Sang-Ho's expression didn't change. You misunderstand the situation. We're not making demands. We're informing you of new realities. He activated a holographic display that showed the galaxy. Large sections were now marked in blue, human-controlled space. Earth's frontiers extend as far as human influence can reach. Any attempt to establish military bases or conduct hostile operations in these regions will result in immediate retaliation. Impossible, said another council member. You cannot patrol such a vast area. We don't need to patrol it, Sang-Ho replied. We have other methods. Throughout the galaxy, human monitoring stations that had been hidden for decades revealed themselves. Advanced sensor networks that could track ships across multiple star systems, communication arrays that could coordinate human forces instantly across vast distances, weapons platforms that could strike targets hundreds of light-years away. Dr. Seok Jin Lim's quantum communication network had evolved far beyond what even Earth's military leaders had imagined. Not only did it connect human forces, but it allowed real-time monitoring of alien civilizations throughout the galaxy. We've been watching you for 30 years, Sang-Ho continued. We know the location of every major military installation in hegemony space. We know your ship movements, your supply lines, and your strategic plans. The alien council members exchanged worried glances. If the humans had been monitoring them for decades, then no hegemony operation was secret. What do you want? The Prime Speaker asked finally. Simple recognition that human space is inviolate. Any species that attempts to establish a presence in our territory without permission will be removed. Any hostile action against human interests will be met with overwhelming force. And in return, we don't interfere in your internal affairs. We don't expand beyond our declared boundaries. We maintain the current balance of power in the galaxy. It wasn't a treaty. It was a declaration. Humanity was claiming its place as a major galactic power and backing that claim with military force that had already proven itself against the galaxy's strongest fleets. Captain Hyun-woo received his new assignment with mixed feelings. The Incheon's Pride would be part of the first human embassy fleet, establishing permanent diplomatic presence throughout the galaxy. It's hard to believe how much has changed, Lieutenant So-min Park observed as they prepared for departure. We're not hiding anymore, Hyun-woo replied. The galaxy knows what we're capable of. The human embassies were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Each one was technically a diplomatic facility, but everyone understood they were also military outposts capable of defending themselves against any threat. Ambassador Ma Young-hee Park established the first embassy in the Centauri Coalition, a group of species that had remained neutral during the hegemony conflict. Her facility looked like a typical diplomatic compound, but hidden beneath its elegant exterior were weapons systems that could level a city. "The key is balance," she explained to her staff. "We need to project strength without appearing aggressive. We want other species to respect our power, not fear it unnecessarily. But some species did fear it, and fear led to desperate actions. Captain Hae-Jin Song was commanding a routine patrol when her sensors detected an incoming fleet. The ships belonged to the Kresh Empire, a species known for their aggressive expansion policies. 50 ships approaching our patrol route," reported her tactical officer. "They're moving to intercept." Intentions? Unknown, but their weapons are charged. Hae-Jin activated the quantum communication system. "Command, this is Song. We have potential hostile contact, requesting instructions." Admiral Ryu's response was immediate. "Rules of engagement are clear. If they threaten human assets, defend yourself." The Kresh fleet commander made the same mistake that Admiral Vex Tar had made weeks before. He assumed that humans were still hiding their capabilities. "Human vessel, you are ordered to withdraw from Kresh territory immediately." Hae-Jin checked her navigation display. "Kresh commander, you are mistaken. This is human patrol space as established by Galactic Treaty. We recognize no human authority. Withdraw or be destroyed." The Kresh ships opened fire. They discovered too late that the lone human patrol ship was equipped with weapons that could destroy their entire fleet. Captain Song's vessel, the Daigu's Thunder, was built for exactly this kind of encounter. Within minutes, the Kresh fleet was reduced to wreckage. The message was clear. Human space would be defended, regardless of who challenged it. Dr. Aaron Cho worked in her new laboratory, studying data from beyond the galaxy's edge. Her assignment was to prepare for threats that didn't yet exist, species and civilizations beyond the current galactic boundaries. "We've established our position with the known civilizations," she told her research team. "But the galaxy is vast, and there are always new threats emerging." Her work focused on detecting and analyzing signs of advanced civilizations in distant regions, early warning systems that could provide decades of advance notice if hostile species began moving toward human space. "We'll never be caught off guard. Again," she promised. The transformation of Earth's role in the galaxy was complete. The species that had been targeted for relocation was now setting the terms for galactic diplomacy. Human ships patrolled trade routes that had once been controlled by the hegemony. Human embassies established permanent presence on worlds that had never seen Earth representatives. President Yang addressed the galaxy through a broadcast that reached every inhabited world. "Earth's message is simple," she said. "We seek peaceful coexistence with all species, but we will not tolerate threats to human security. Our frontiers are inviolate. Our space is sovereign. Any attempt to violate these principles will result in the complete destruction of the aggressor." The broadcast ended with images of human fleets patrolling throughout the galaxy, a reminder that Earth's reach now extended far beyond the single star system where humanity had been born. Captain Wan Seok received reports from monitoring stations. Throughout human space, trade was flowing normally, diplomatic relations were stable. The various alien species were adapting to the new reality of human power. "Status report from all sectors," he requested. "All green, sir. No hostile activity detected. Commercial traffic is following established protocols." "Good. Maintain normal patrol patterns." The galaxy had learned its lesson. Earth's frontiers were indeed inviolate, protected by military technology that exceeded anything the galaxy had seen before. Humanity had revealed itself as the apex predator of known space, and that revelation had changed the balance of power forever. In her laboratory, Dr. Aaron continued her work on next-generation detection systems. The current threat had been neutralized, but she knew that the galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers. "We'll be ready," she promised herself. "Whatever comes next, humanity will be ready." The species that had thought it could violate Earth's frontiers had learned they were wrong. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same.